So welcome, Mr. Shende. Nice to see you in Beijing.
Thank you. Nice to see you and in your office.
Thank you. It's actually our honor. And as you can see, the weather in Beijing now is better and better. But 5 to 6 years ago, things didn't work in this way. So as an expert of environmental protection, what do you think happened in Beijing now? How do you like it?
Yeah, it's not only 5 to 6 years before. In fact, it was 5 to 6 weeks back. The weather was bad. So I do understand that air pollution is a result of development imperatives of China. China has an ambitious program for the development, and they consider the development is the economic development. And once you take that as an ambition, then at any cost, you have to achieve that. So sometimes the impact to the environment takes the back seat. And because many times people feel that environment and development are opposing each other, which is not true. My experience in the United Nations environment for 20 years, they say that environment and development are on the same side of a football team. They are not opposing each other. So it's environment and the development is the one team, and against that, the other team is the poverty, inequality, and the environmental degradation. So these teams are fighting with each other. But that is neglected sometimes. But I think China is catching up. They are realizing that apart from the economic development, we need to have a social and environmental development, which is an excellent sign. And it can turn out to be a good example for the world, because air pollution comes mainly from utilization of fossil fuel, coal, oil, natural gas. Well, it does come from burning of agricultural residue. It does come from the construction activity, but it's mainly through the fossil fuel use. So getting rid of fossil fuel is a win-win-win strategy. You get rid of air pollution, you address the climate change, and you save the money. Because getting rid of climate change is also saving on energy on which you spend a lot of money to get the fossil fuel from the outside. So it's very important to generate your own sources. And if China doesn't have enough sources of coal on its own, it imports the coal. But it already has a lot of its own resources for renewable energy. Today, Beijing in the evening was windy. So when I was coming for this particular talk, when it was windy, I just kept on wondering why there are no windmills around. There should be windmills to generate the energy. That will help your weather. It will reduce that much coal consumption.
Indeed.
So I think the Chinese leadership is now trying to understand this, implement it, and I'm happy that things will change fast for China.
Okay, so you mean that actually you were doing something like to find an environmental friendly way to develop the country at the same time?
That's right.
Okay.
I think China had that opportunity in 1980s.
Oh, okay.
In 1980, when China's economy opened up and you had a market economy and you started developing fast at a rate of 11%, 12%, 15%, that was a time when China had an opportunity to select an option, make a choice, whether you want to copy Western countries or you want to have your own Chinese characters, your own Chinese alphabets to the development. Unfortunately, I think it was more of an influence of Western countries. So the choice was the way Western countries developed, let's develop like that. Because probably China didn't want to waste time in developing its own way of development, its own way of economic growth. So it lost an opportunity.
Indeed.
India is also losing the same. It's not only China. And most of the developing countries are in the same boat. And that is very unfortunate.